Hey friends, I'm Naomi. Welcome back to our channel. Today I'm going to be canning our bone broth. This big pot back here is full of organic homemade bone broth. So what I do is every time we make whole chickens, I will take the meat off the chickens, use it for whatever purpose I have, and then I'll take the fat and the bones off and I'll stick it in a freezer bag. And I put it in my deep freezer downstairs, and then when I have enough to make this huge stock pot, I'll grab them out and I'll put them in this pot and cover it with our filtered water, and I let it cook for a day or two on the back of my stove, and today's the day. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to get my jars washed and put in my pressure canners so they can stay warm and they'll be sterilized and ready to go, and then I'm going to strain this stock. So for reference, I actually put 10 cups of water into the bottom of my canner. Once again, you do not want your water to come up over the lids of your jars. You just want there to be enough water in there to create steam and pressure your foods. And today I'm using quart-sized jars, not pints, because we go through broth really fast and I like to save money on lids. So I use quart jars, so I use less lids. So I like to stick a little bit of water in the bottom of my jar just to help them so they don't float. So this is what it looks like. The water, it's hard to see, is about halfway up the jars, and I washed and sterilized my jars. I'm putting them in here to keep them warm while I take care of the broth back there, and I am going to save some of that broth for a Mexican chicken soup. I was going to can that today, but some things came up that I won't have time. So the broth is quick and easy. It's like a 30-minute processing time, so that's what I'm going to do today. So this is another quick disclaimer. I am not a professional at this. I love canning. I've been doing it for many years, but also I suggest that you look at the links in below and do your own research on how to can and how to do it properly, because you want things to be super sterile and super clean, because canning can be such a wonderful opportunity to learn, but it also can be a little scary. You want to make sure you're safe and that your food is safe for your family and friends to consume. So that's just my disclaimer. Do your own research and just take my advice as encouragement to try. So now I'm going to take my strainer and my bowl, and I'm going to strain the fat and bones into here, and I will put the broth in this bowl and then I'll reheat it later. So I'm going to do that, and I'm going to put my fat and my bones into a different bowl. I don't know if it works or not, but I do keep my bones and I clean them really well and boil them again, and I crush them up to make my own bone meal. We've been using it for about 2 years, so like I said, it's just an experiment, but it seems to help our plants grow. So I try to use everything. I gotta bring you over and show you the broth. It's so pretty. It's such a good color. It has been going for 2 days, so it is nice and golden and ready to go. I put my broth back in my pot and I'm going to bring it up to a boil so it's nice and warm. And this is the crap that's left over. There's chicken fat, pieces of chicken, the bones. Like, it's crazy how brittle the bones become. Like, literally you can just break them in your hand. So I'll go, after this is cooled off, I'll go through and get the bones out and get them really thoroughly washed. And then I will boil them for a while. And then I'll take them out and dehydrate them. And then I put them in a blender and just get them blended up so I can use them as bone meal. So I've got my washed and dried rings for my jars, my lids, my funnel, my jar grabber. This is the stuff I need to get the jars properly filled and sealed and going in the pressure canner. I am going to get a new rag and some vinegar. I like to wipe the rims of my jars with vinegar to help break down any fats or oils that might get underneath your lid. And then I will show you how I fill up my jars. So I brought my big pot over. I'm gonna funnel in my broth. My jars are very warm, so I'm trying not to burn my hands. So I'm gonna take my warm hot broth and put it into these jars. And after I get them in, all the broth in, I will wipe the rims, get lids and rings on, and put them back in the canner. And because these like to boil, they're gonna boil, I like to, let me see if I can show you this. I like to do the headspace a little bit below the rim. I just think things easier, and that way none of the fat gets underneath the lids. So now I'm gonna take and wipe my rims with the vinegar to get all the extra fat that might be on it off, because you do not want that underneath your lids. They will not seal properly. And always check your jars. Make sure there's no nicks or breaks in your jars, because they can pop and open. I've had jars break in my canner, not explode but break, and I'll go to open it and I'm so disappointed because all my product that I just made is in the bottom of my canner. Then you have to clean the canner, which with broth especially, it's very messy because it's so greasy. So always check your jars. All right, so those are wiped. Then I put lids, clean rings. Yes, these are very warm. And once again, to fingertip tight. You don't want to over crank them, but you want to get them pretty tight. That way you let it properly seal. So use my jar grabber, bring it over here and stick it inside. And that's what I'm going to do for each jar. And then I'll get my lid on it and bring it up to a boil and let it come to the appropriate pressure. Now these are all in the pot, and yes, this Presto pressure canner fits 7 quarts. I wish it did more because I have quite a bit of stock left, but that's okay. I'll have it on my shelves and it'll be exciting. So I'm gonna get that up to a boil, and then, well, I'll put the lid on and then get it up to a boil and let the steam escape and then get it up to pressure. Here are our first 7 quarts. I love that they continue to bubble. They will do that for me for quite some time after I take them out. And they had sat in the canner for like 20 minutes. So, but yeah, this is the process. After I put them in the canner, I just let the steam release for 10 minutes before putting my cap on. And I let it come to 10 pounds of pressure. And I then canned it for 30 minutes. So broth is easier. Soup takes a lot longer because there's vegetables and things in it, but I will show you that on another day when I make the chicken Mexican soup. And I just want to say thank you for being here, and I encourage you to try new things. It's not as scary as you think, and it always turns out beautiful. Look at the color. Oh, pink. And I will see you guys next time. Bye.